President Cyril Ramaphosa is hosting the Elders, an international non-governmental organization of public figures noted as senior statesmen, peace activists and human rights advocates who offer collective experience to promote peace, justice and human rights across the world. The Elders are in South Africa for their biannual board meeting in Cape Town. President Ramaphosa will meet with a delegation of 3 elders comprising of Mary Robinson, the first woman president of Ireland, and chair of the Elders, Graça Machel, First Minister of Education and Culture of Mozambique, and Deputy Chair of the Elders, and Gro Harlem Brundtland, the first woman Prime Minister of Norway. Well, to tell us more, I'm joined by political editor Mzwandile Mbeje, who's at the meeting or outside of the meeting. Mzwandile, a very good afternoon to you. What can we expect to come out from the discussions?
Well, very good afternoon to you, Nompu. In fact, they have just taken the picture right behind me where they will be speaking to us after their meeting. So they've just had a photo opportunity to set the scene in terms of their meeting that is about to happen. You've quite correctly explained who they are and how many they are and what they are here for. Basically, they are also accompanied by, we saw the Minister of Environmental Affairs, Barbara Creasy. So they will be speaking really about the issues that affect the world. Remember, these advisors, or rather these elders, their responsibility is to offer wise counsel. They are tapping on their experience, on their knowledge. Many of them, in fact, in this instance, it's just 3 of them, but many of these leaders so have been eminent leaders in their own right. So clearly, given that they have that kind of experience and that kind of know-how, so they do really help. They serve as a reservoir of knowledge and advice, perhaps, to current issues. When former President Nelson Mandela conceived this idea, and of course this idea we know was actually conceived much longer than that by Richard Branson, but when they shared it with former President Nelson Mandela in 2007, he decided that, you know what, we needed people, wise men and men, so who have been there, who know it, to be able to come together and offer advice, not just in their own countries, but everywhere where they could be able to do that. So what they are here for, Nompu, the elders, they obviously are here to hold their meeting, but they are using this opportunity. We've just had a pandemic that is not over. We are having health issues. So they will be speaking about those issues as to how the NHI, for example, could be fast-tracked, what sort of advice they could give. And of course, in terms of the management of the pandemic, yes, many people feel it may be gone, but the fact of the matter is it's still with us. So using their experiences, so they'll be able to share that. In fact, as I'm speaking to you now, Nompu, they are meeting with the president. And then, of course, after they've concluded their meeting, so they'll come to us and report what exactly did they agree on.
Of course, you talk about the issue of the pandemic, but there's sort of a whole confluence of issues that are affecting the globe right now. The Russia-Ukraine war being a major factor affecting inflation and so on, which was already ticking up before the conflict. And then you have, China's lower growth because of the way it's had to deal with the COVID-19 pandemic. A lot of issues that are affecting us, and nobody really knows, because this is very unprecedented time. So no doubt those are going to be high on the agenda as well.
Absolutely, Nombu. And it's even more interesting when you look at the composition of the elders that are here. The chairperson, Mary Robinson, this is the former president of Ireland, so from Europe, so she should be very, very familiar with the surroundings there. And of course, the former Prime Minister of Norway. And clearly, these issues you've raised are happening right in their backyard. So they, being the former heads of state and government, so they are really, really well versed of what is happening. So these are the people who are best placed to be able to offer advice going forward. But of course, we know South Africa, their stance regarding the issue of war in Ukraine, where they stand, the neutrality. and of course the issue of engagement, dialogue, and making sure that negotiations really take center stage. But it will be very interesting to hear what sort of advice, particularly relating to this matter, what they would offer, particularly to South Africa's stance. As we had President Ramaphosa repeating how South Africa feels about this when he met his counterpart from Germany 2 days ago.
Indeed. Mzwandile, thank you very much. We'll hear from you after they've spoken to you or during the time they're speaking to you. My colleague there, Mzwandile Mbeje.